Chaz, you're looking at your big screen, you've got so many tabs open and you're deep. And then I can still come in and say, hey, Chaz, what do we need for this? What did you want me to do on this? And you answer. I say, how is he multitasking? And it's became so normal. So now it's just like I come in and you answer. But I have to take a step back and say, damn, like that's hard. That's hard to multitask and put yourself in a completely different mindset for marketing when you're deep into legal work. And so you're able to be so dynamic in different pillars of the firm.
Hey everyone, it is Chaz with another episode of Law Have Mercy. On today's episode, I'm bringing on my executive assistant, Laith, the guy behind the scenes that helps make all the magic happen. And it's really interesting because he was an acquaintance, and then he became a client, and then he actually started working here, and he's helped me tremendously with part of the podcast and social media and my everyday life. And without further ado, welcome to the podcast, Mr. Laith.
Thank you. Thank you.
How do you tell people it's like faith, but with an L?
That's right.
All right.
Have faith in Laith.
Yeah, so we met, you were 19 years old. Yeah, and you're only 22 now.
That's right.
And we met at a BNI meeting, and Daniel Bruce introduced us.
That's right.
And then Laith said, I'm in real estate, and the kid's 19 years old. I'm like, okay, yeah, right. You're in real estate. I get it. And so Laith just started texting me real estate deals, and I was like, nope, not interested. I don't want a car wash on Moss Street. Sorry about that.
Yeah. So Chaz was like, send me all the real estate deals you see, right? So here I am, and it's a one-sided conversation for months on end. But I don't take that as disrespect. I take that as, okay, let me refine my searches and let me find them the perfect one. And it was always love.
Yeah, and on one day, this was before you were ever a client, right?
What day?
Yeah. Okay. So good question. At some point you got in a car wreck, and then that was before the Acadiana Coastal deal.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
So in January, I was involved in a car wreck. I was showing some property at UL on St. Mary. And as soon as we got back in the car, we were about to cross over Rex Street, and we were rear-ended at a red light. A girl was on her phone and didn't pay attention and ran into us. And directly after, I was supposed to be meeting up with Daniel Bruce to go hang out. And I said, I'm unable to hang out. I just got in a wreck. He says, dude, you need to call Chaz. I said, why? He said, no, he'll take care of you. He's an attorney. He's going to be able to help you in this car wreck. I said, would he just fix my car? Like, what exactly does this entail? And he said, no, he's going to get you treated and taken care of. And that's when my eyes kind of opened. I said, hold on, I can get treated for my injuries after a car wreck? Like, this is great. And so then I reached out to you, and you got me set up the next day, that Monday.
Yeah. So we had a great experience. We got you treated. And then I'm assuming after several months, we were able to settle the case. And
yes.
what was, how you were 19 or 20 at the time?
20.
What was your reaction to like seeing a lawyer or like meeting with a lawyer? Was that intimidating at all?
Slightly, I would say that, because I'm coming into a sophisticated setting, and I'm not sure what I'm getting myself into. Although I do know that Chaz is a very nice guy, and so I felt welcomed. After getting with you, you were so perfect. You explained everything in a great manner. You gave me the big three factors that go into a case, and that's liability, insurance, and your damages, and how injured you are. After knowing that we checked a few of those boxes, but still didn't know where I was as far as for injuries, we took it from there. And I found out things that I didn't know were wrong with me. Although I felt them, I didn't know exactly what they were. And so we were able to look into those things and get them treated. Yeah. It was very, very neat.
And so after being in the firm and like kind of seeing how all the puzzle fits together and how like your own experience, did that surprise you that the level of treatment, the level of care that you received?
Yeah. So initially, I never had thought about this, but I realized that all the stress was taken away from me after Chaz started bringing me to the right doctors. And what I didn't realize was that stress was not only taken away from me, but actually put on to Chaz and put on to his firm. I didn't realize the stress had to transfer somewhere else. And it in
It
fact
doesn't
did.
just go away, right?
Right. And so, like a duck, right? They are calm above surface, but they are swimming like crazy under the surface, below the surface. And so I'd get a call from Sasha saying, "Hey, you have an appointment at 9:30. Please be sure to attend it." Little do I know, she sounds so calm on the phone, so caring, but as I see behind the curtains, there is so much work being done, and like I said, it sounds so calm and relaxed, but I know that she's working so hard to take care of 100 more clients the same exact way. And so she showed me care like I was the only person in the world. But in fact, she does that for everyone, just gives them so much care. Same thing for all your teammates. Same thing for you, for Kevin, everyone else. It's such a surprise.
This is funny because we've had this conversation recently, but like to you, you thought like you just magically get medical appointments and they just magically call you on time and everything's, hey, Mr. Laith, how are you today? Like there's a whole science behind that. And that takes logistics and all these other things that I take it for granted that these things happen because I do them and I'm in it, but the client really doesn't know how these things happen.
Correct. For you, it's like this is the norm of taking care of your clients. But for us, it's like, whoa, what's going on? I think you need to take a step back, like as clients, and think, wow, there are people putting these things in place for me. And it's not just that phone call, but it's 1,000 other things, like the tech stack that's required to actually operate a law firm. I mean, there's just so much that goes into it, and it doesn't even come to your mind as a client. You're not necessarily focused on that, but when you do think about those things, you feel so much more appreciative that you have Chaz Roberts Law on your side.
Well, now that you've had a peek behind the curtain, you see that the phone system is very complex. The legal pads cost double or triple what a notebook would cost.
Right. Right.
There's so many additional expenses that you really are not privy to as a client, right?
Correct. And that's another thing to take into account.
And we like keeping that magic, by the way. Like we like that it's seamless, one button touch. We don't want to tell the clients everything that goes into it because we don't want them to feel bad for us or feel even more guilty than they already do by just virtue of making a claim or whatever.
Yes, that's right. So you take everything off the table for them and just say, hey, do these few things, right? Just stay off of social media, go get yourself taken care of at your medical appointments, but everything else is put onto the firm. And it's amazing. You'd almost think that there was like an AI system integrated, right? Because it's so perfect. But in fact, it's based off of real people doing real work. It's really amazing.
What was next? Did we have another car wreck or was it the real estate deal?
So we were in the process of working on a real estate deal in the summer. I actually spent my 21st birthday working that deal all day at the seller's house. And we were in and out of contract, as you recall. And then around August, I was involved in a car wreck again. And I'll say this, my dash camera saved me. It showed what had happened and the severity of the impact. Even the aftermath photos are severe, but there's nothing realer than showing the actual impact and the reaction that me and my passenger had. It's so real and very heart-wrenching. You're a victim. So, my first call was to 911. My second call was to Chaz. If you can recall, I called you, and I was not emotionally stable at the time. I was very shaken up because not only was I potentially injured, but my passenger could have been severely injured with pre-existing conditions, health procedures. I was very, very, very worried. And as I recall, the next day I'm in your office. You're setting me up with appointments for me and my passenger. You've got us taken care of, MRIs, orthopedic doctors, physical therapy. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And then right around that is whenever we got back under contract for the real estate deal.
Real estate deal.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. So a couple things. You had a dash cam, and what Laith is explaining is that someone allowed another car to pass in front of him essentially, and you were coming from the other lane, and so that car that was turning didn't see you.
Yes.
And then it was a bad collision, but your dash cam actually captured not only the collision but the audio of the inside of your vehicle where you can hear how much distress y'all were both in. And that was very compelling evidence, let's put it that way, that helped our case. And so Laith is a very high on dash cams, needless to say.
Yes, that's right. I've been having one since I think 2020, and I knew that it would come in handy at some point. And regardless, right, we're in Lafayette, Louisiana. There are so many people driving recklessly and just so horrible, right? So not only was it used for dash camera footage in the case of a wreck, but I also would capture people doing crazy things, right? And sometimes show my friends, hey, look at this. And it would also spark conversations and more awareness to my friends, like, look at what this person did and look out for this next time.
So you had 2 wrecks, but on the dash cam footage, you've had 50 near misses.
Oh, yeah.
You showed me some of the footage.
That's right. That's right. So it gets crazy. It gets very crazy in Lafayette. So I'd highly recommend someone get a front and rear dash camera. It's so necessity, especially with audio. And if you want to level up, get the cabin camera as well to show what's inside of your vehicle, what's happening in there.
So what's crazy too is, okay, so we're in a real estate deal. It was an RV storage facility, and Laith at 21 years old took a box of receipts and turned it into a business. Essentially took the receipts and took all this documentation and put it in Excel spreadsheets and things that were needed to show a bank actual income and expenses and that kind of thing. And he worked tirelessly to do that. And I took note of that. I was watching his actions, and it's a huge deal for a 21-year-old because it was a big property that myself and 2 partners entered into. But I was also reading a book called Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell at the time, and it said your next hire needs to be an executive assistant to help you essentially with your life. It's someone who you trading money for time essentially. And I was watching Laith, I was like, man, he would be a really good executive assistant. And so we broached that subject, and then, we were kind of loosey-goosey because you were still in the real estate game at the time, and eventually you said yes. And the same time, Sasha, my paralegal of 13, 14 years at the time, goes out on maternity leave unexpectedly 6 weeks early.
Yes, that's right. You texted me that evening, November 13th or something. You said, Laith, it's game time.
Sasha went into labor unexpectedly. Game time. Come on.
Let's go.
You start tomorrow.
Yep.
And that was in November of last year, of 23?
23.
Yeah, so you've been with me ever since. Look, Laith and I were the loss of Sasha was incalculable.
Yes,
All
it
right.
weighed heavily on us.
It weighed heavily on us. And so Laith just sprung into action. I mean, he did everything from run, get me lunch so I can be in the office, to handwrite checks to keep it moving, because Sasha printed checks, obviously, but we were handwriting checks. You were calling people and putting them on hold so I could finish up a different conversation,
Right.
Just everything. But you had no legal experience whatsoever at the time.
No, almost no integral business legal experience either. I mean, I had never been in a business setting before, especially executive assistant to the founder of the business. And so things were so dynamic off the bat. Like you said, you were on the phone with so many different adjusters, and I'm parking more calls to put you into them. And it was hectic. It was very, very crazy. And we were able to do it. We had, Bradley working on disbursements, you working on disbursements, signing up checks. I mean, clients coming in, taking phone calls, intakes. It was all over the place, but we did it. Like you said, we were, we looked above surface very calm, but under we were going crazy.
We were treading water. I like to think that I do the job of 3 people, and most founders, it's on average 3 to 5 people. They say that to replace the founder of a business, you need 3 people, and then that's only 80%.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I can believe that.
Yes.
Right? Well, Sasha does the job of 3 people too.
That's right.
So really,
You're doing 6.
You and I were doing 6 to 8 people's jobs, just you and I.
That's right.
It was a long 6 to 8 weeks.
Oh yeah.
And that was over the holidays too. That was Christmas, And, you know, everyone, especially in the oil field around here, everybody's partying, having a good time. Because the oil field kind of slows down towards the end of the year, the medical field is hit or miss. Some people trying to get stuff in to meet their deductibles before the end of the year, or they've already met their deductibles.
They want to use
they're cramming in surgeries and that kind of thing. So medical is hit or miss. A lot of people wind down to the end of the year. We ramp up.
Oh, yeah.
We ramp up. That's settlement season, right? Where insurance companies are trying to settle cases at the end of the year. You have people who need money. They want to get the money, their settlement money disbursed. It's
For presents. Yes.
The increase in traffic from the holidays.
Hectic.
More wrecks. So you have new cases. It's just a really busy time.
We all know that not even a week before Thanksgiving starts, you start seeing the Christmas effect come into place in traffic. I mean, oh my God, try driving on Ambassador at 5 o'clock. You're going to get to Verot by 7 p.m. There's just no way to cut it. It's so hectic.
Yeah. So quick message. If you're enjoying this podcast, do me a favor and subscribe to our podcast. And if you find it in your heart, leave us a 5-star review. It helps us with attracting better guests and keeping the good word out there. If you enjoy Law Have Mercy, leave us a review. Appreciate it. All right. Back to the episode. All right. So what surprised you about the law firm or working with me? What is something that surprised you when you came on board?
So initially, I always figured you were busy, but I never realized how busy you were. I would think that there would be some buffer zones between each commitment, but no, you are, if not overlapping them, right? You are doing everything. I mean, you come here early in the morning, you get to work, you're calling adjusters, you're looking at files, you're calling clients, you're medically managing clients. It's so much. And right after that, right after 5 o'clock, you're on the ballpark with the kids till 8, 9 p.m. And then what? You get to sleep for a couple hours, then you wake up the next morning, you're doing 20 miles.
Yeah, the working out too.
And you're working out. I mean, it's just so much. You're so crammed in. And nonetheless, you are Dr. Phil. And you receive 12 messages a day, whether they're legal advice, life advice, or, hey, I just need to talk to someone. And you do your best. You do your best to reach out to every single person and answer them.
I literally have 6 text messages. I'm looking at my phone. I had 6 text messages in the time we've started filming.
Exactly.
I'm good at spinning plates, right?
Very.
And as an entrepreneur, you have to be good at spinning plates, and I'm good at multitasking. I'm very comfortable in the chaos.
Chaz, you're looking at your big screen. You've got so many tabs open, and you're deep. And then I can still come in and say, hey, Chaz, what do we need for this? What did you want me to do on this? And you answer. I say, how is he multitasking? And you know, it's became so normal. So now it's just like I come in and you answer. But I have to take a step back and say, damn, like that's hard. That's hard to multitask and put yourself in a completely different mindset for marketing when you're deep into legal work. And so you're able to be so dynamic in different pillars of the firm. Like you said, you work 3 to 4 different people's jobs here and you do so much.
Well, we have the marketing is how do we attract new clients? We have the operations, like, so how do we pay our taxes and have payroll and be a leader for our team members and make sure they're happy and productive and that we have water in the fridge.
Yes, down to that.
And coffee in the pot and everything else. And then you have the actual legal work, which is, I mean, the most important thing is actually like
doing good work
for people. And luckily we have 2 other fantastic lawyers here with Bradley and Kevin.
Yes.
And so, it's a journey. If I stop to think about everything I do, it'll be overwhelming.
It'll take you all day.
I would be in the fetal position in my bed.
Yeah, wanting to just go to bed, go to sleep.
To bed.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
And you could see why there are alcoholic lawyers, right? I mean,
oh my gosh,
or substance abuse. I mean, because it's a lot and
high pressure.
And all those cases are people's lives in my hand.
Correct.
Or in our firm's hands, right? Those cases, you've met enough clients. Those cases are the most important things in those people's lives.
That's right.
Well, not only do we do a ton of work on the legal, and that's a full-time job, and luckily we have amazing lawyers working with us, but we've bit off a lot with the podcast, the social media. We post a video every single day. the 2 scholarships, those are nighttime commitments. We just went to the IPNO function.
Right.
That's a lot on top of what we already do.
Correct. I mean, like you said, right, we're here from 8 to 5. We're working hard, taking care of clients. And then potentially right after, there are further commitments to continue to spread awareness and give back to the community and attend events and network with other individuals. And it, like you said, and for you, it's almost like a full-time, lifetime job. It's not just a full-time job for you. It is a lifetime job. You are working endlessly. You are almost going to bed thinking about cases. And I know that. And so for you, it's just even a bigger amount of work to do. You even make this point, sometimes some employees, they clock out. They don't have to think about the job anymore, not until they clock back in. For you, it's 24/7.
It's 24/7. I'm always alert. That's the difference between a profession. It's a true, when I walk around, and as much as I try to distinguish the two and say, well, dude, I'm just Chaz. I'm a laid back guy. It always is with me. I'm always thinking about it. It's hard to separate that. And I think that's what makes me good.
Yeah, I mean, I was fortunate enough to somewhat give you a birthday gift last year as planning a vacation for you, you and your wife. And even at that vacation, you were on your laptop. You were working every morning. You were sending the emails. You're calling clients. I said, Chaz, how do you even have service on the beach? You're calling them up. And I mean, that's just amazing. We see a lot of people, they completely shut out. They say, I'm on vacation. I'm not doing any work. I'm not even touching the phones. You're still committed, and not in a toxic way, right? This is like true work being done. You're not micromanaging anything. You are macromanaging. You are killing it, and you don't see that commonly.
Well, I thank you. I always feel like I never want people to wait on me, and so if Kevin or Bradley or Sasha or Laith or somebody's waiting on a response on me, I'm going to give them the response. I'm going to give an answer. It might not be the right answer, but by God, I'm going to give an answer.
Yeah, you're putting the ball back in our court.
I think that's a true hack. If you want to be successful in life, you have to make a decision. You're not always going to make the right decision. You're not always going to make a wrong. Sometimes you're going to make the wrong decision. But by God, make a decision.
Because no decision is a decision.
Indecision is a paralysis, and it's ineffective. Okay? The quicker you make a decision, even if it's a wrong decision, you learn from it. Right? You get information, and you're not going to make that bad decision again. If you don't make the decision, you're never going to learn from it.
Never going to make a lesson out of it. Wow. Yeah. That is so true. That's so true. And one thing I do want to cover is like your collaborative effort with the other attorneys here, with Kevin and Bradley. They're such interesting dynamics and relationships, and how we like to say Bradley is always cooking in the kitchen, and Kevin's, he closes that door, he shuts it, he's cooking. And it's super interesting. Like, you seem to just be cooking 24/7. I'll be honest with you, because if you're in your office, you're cooking by yourself. And then if you step into Kevin's office, you're still cooking. And we talked about this yesterday. That lunchtime to go out isn't just to fill your stomach. It's to build with Kevin, to build with Bradley, to network with other individuals in public, to be seen, to be recognized, to be known. And there's so much that goes into that. There's, like you said, a dynamic role. It's such a dynamic role.
We eat good food, but we want to support local businesses too.
Correct.
And it's good. Honestly, it's good to get out the office for an hour, right? Yeah. And hit that reset button.
It feels like a reset, right? You come back, you're like, oh, it feels like the morning again. Just another shift. It's super easy. It's really nice.
Because I find that if I work through lunch here and I don't leave, I'm cashed out at about 2:00.
Yeah, you start to burn out.
I burn out. If I leave for an hour, I come back, I can work till 5.
Exactly.
Right. Refreshed.
Right.
Tell me, you also do for fun. You're a skateboarder.
Yes. I've been skating since I was 11 years old. I saw a kid skating downtown one day for Festival International, and I was like, I want to try that. And so I went online, got a skateboard, and started skating. We never had a skate park for about 10 years until last year. We were able to get a public skate park built, and that has been amazing.
It's a beautiful park at Thomas Park.
That's right.
It's very nice. The there's a half pipe, there's a street course. It's just really cool.
Yes, and it was very neat. You know, you even brought your son, and it was sweet to see him there. And I hope to see him there more often. It's such a great place, and exercise and meet new people, and that's kind of where I built my friendships, right? Because I was homeschooled for a majority of my life, and so skateboarding was kind of like my inlet into friends and more relationships. And I'd say it worked out pretty well. You know,
Yeah.
no broken bones, nothing like that.
And that's how you met Daniel.
Correct.
And to come full circle, right, since Daniel made the relationship to us, Daniel had a huge event downtown, a skate event.
That's right.
And what we did is we sponsored it. We set up the tent. Laith took it. This was his baby. He took it. He manned that table. We had the spinning wheel. We did interviews.
Yes.
It was really cool.
It was tremendous. And so back to it, right? 2023, Chaz had sponsored Daniel Baruch's event, Baruch Invitational. And that was in 2023. And Chaz said, you know, I want to go back around 2024. Let's do it again. And so Chaz was nice enough to sponsor the event again with Daniel. And we got a tent set up, and we were out there early morning getting it ready, getting all the tables set up. And it was an amazing time. It was wonderful. We were able to meet so many new people.
I met a ton of cool guys and girls. Like we met a ton of people.
Yeah, it was amazing. What a great event. So many smiles, so many familiar faces, so many new faces. And it was really great. Furthermore, very meaningful to me because that's where I grew up. And so if I was a younger kid and I saw a law firm, which is just so, you would never expect that to be at a skateboarding event, a Red Bull skateboarding event, I would be like, wow, this is so nice. This is so meaningful. He's putting forth energy into a sub community that really is underserved. And it was just so neat to see all that come together because you normally just see skate companies sponsoring skate events, but you're a personal injury law firm and you were still so nice enough to give back to Daniel, give back to me, and give back to every single attendant there. It was beautiful. I was super happy to see that.
So one thing that Laith has done is so he's got into the social media aspect, learning how to make clips. He learned podcasts. He ordered all these cameras that you're watching the podcast on, or the video on, and the microphones. And he's worked with Carter to learn how to do podcasting. You've pretty much learned everything on the spot. And that's what's cool about an industrious 22-year-old, 21-year-old last year is they will look it up. Kids nowadays, these guys know how to find information and look it up. I'm sure you've always been industrious like that. You didn't just pick that up here.
Yes.
But it's been really cool. Where do you see your role here moving forward? What would you like to do here?
Wow. I'd love to open up another office for you. I'd love to find you a second location and continue to grow the firm, continue to grow the business.
Can you clone me?
I'm working on it. I'm looking it up. I'm looking it up.
Is there a YouTube video on cloning?
There's an AI model that I'm working on, and hopefully it'll clone you enough, and we'll have like a true robot working for you. But the goal, I would hope that in the next few years that Laith can open up a law firm for you in another location and spread the geo surface of trying to reach more clients. And that's all I want to do. I want to get you more known because the work that you do here is so great that I feel the need to express that to everyone and everyone know that. Because without you, I would have been unbeknown to this entire world of being compensated after being a victim of a car wreck. It's just amazing. And I've seen you, give people life-changing money, and it's just wonderful. It's wonderful to see. It's so pleasurable to do. It's so heartwarming. It's just what amazing work that you do. It needs to be published everywhere, right? And again, we go back to it. There's these billboards. There's these insane marketers that give a bad taste in people's mouths. And if we want to talk about the new gen of this lawyer marketing, it's going on your social media and getting an ad talking about a compensation program, which is absolutely nothing. And so I think we're going to see the Gen Z version of having our generation have bad tastes of car wrecks in their mouth because
stupid ads.
Because of these stupid AI form ads, which is the same thing that maybe the generation above me had seen with billboards and these commercials.
That's a good point.
And so it's like, how can Laith kind of get ahead of that and say, no, guys, ignore those crazy ads and just learn about Chaz, right? Even if you're not from Louisiana, Chaz will get you with the best attorney and he will be co-counsel. He will build the case. And so that's how I look at it. How can more people know about Chaz Roberts Law? and all the great work that him and his attorneys and his team does.
One other thing, thank you for that. But one other thing that Laith does, this is a little hidden talent that he has. Is he's a travel guru. All right.
Yes.
And so that's come in very handy. He booked the trip to St. Lucia and not only took care of the whole thing with my wife as a birthday gift for me, but he took care of our kids for 10. I bet you that gave you a greater appreciation of everything that I do at home.
Yes.
Right?
And so that entire taking care of your kids for a week really made me realize that having a family is like running a business. And, you know, your wife and your kids are kind of like integral operation of your business. Like they are almost like your employees and COOs and stuff. And there is a time schedule for everything. You know, when do you bring them to camp? When do you bring them to school? When do you bring them to activities after school?
What do they eat?
What do they eat? Oh my God. Like there's so many. When do they get baths? When do they shower? When do they go to bed? And how much YouTube time do they get? And how much of this do they get? How much outside time? And I realized, oh my God, Chaz is running 2 businesses.
And oh my God, I'm not ready for kids.
Yes. Yes. I mean, you had 2 boys. I can't imagine, right? It's not like, you know, it could be a blessing and a curse because you can see that, you know, you don't have to have 2 dynamic kids, one that's a boy, one that's a girl, but you have 2 boys. So it's like they both have the same needs at the same time. So how does that feel for you?
Yeah. I used to say they're the 1-2 punch. Jake will talk your ear off, and then when your head's spinning because you're worn out from him talking, Luke just comes and punches you in the nuts, like bang,
you right.
and like or punches you in the stomach, boom, like it's a 1-2 punch.
Oh man, they're a team.
They're fantastic, amazing kids.
They
I'm
are
super blessed.
They were the best kids that I've ever taken care of. So sweet, so kind, so thoughtful, and they're actually mature. You know, they're good kids, and God bless their souls. They're amazing.
Give me your number one. I'm putting you on the spot. Give me your number one travel hack.
Ooh, get credit cards. Get credit card points and don't redeem them for gift cards or statement balances. You want to take those credit card points and transfer them over to an airline loyalty program that you see as fit. And before even transferring them, go to that airline company, check out which flight itinerary you're looking into, see what the redemption is for miles, then make the transfer from your Capital One, American Express, or Chase account, or Citibank, whatever you have for your point credit cards. Transfer that over to your loyalty program, immediately book that ticket. Now you've got a business class ticket for 70,000 miles, $100 tax. It's a win.
What's your favorite credit card?
Ooh, I've got 2. Can I give you 2?
Yeah.
The American Express Rose Gold, because it gets you 4 times back on all U.S. supermarkets and U.S. supermarkets and restaurants. The Venture X, which is Capital One, gives you 2 miles back on anything you spend. So with the American Express Gold, it's only 1 times back on everything you spend. But if you get the Venture X, it's 2 times back on everything you spend. And then there's some other categories that like 5X on hotels and flights and rental cars. But I'd say those 2. Those are your go-tos. If we want to bring up a third, which I kind of have to, is I'd say like the Brilliant American Express Brilliant card, which is a Marriott Bonvoy American Express card. And that's if you're more of like a hotel type of guy and you're always traveling. It'll give you immediate platinum status with Marriott, which is great for upgraded suites and upon check-in. And it also gives you a bunch of points, intro bonus. So I'd say those 3 cards: Venture X Capital One, American Express Rose Gold, and then American Express Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant card. I know I just went on a rant.
I think I have the Marriott.
Yes, you do have the Marriott.
So one of the first things Laith did at 21 years old said, "Dude, what credit cards do you have?" I said, "I have a Chase, Inc. or Platinum, whatever." And you're like, "You're not on Amex?" I was like, "Well, I always heard back." He said, "Bro, you could have a Amex Platinum and every time you go to any airport, you can be in a Centurion Lounge.
Correct.
You can be in the Mac Daddy lounges, and you didn't even know how good you had it." Yeah. And I got to tell you, I've been to many Centurion Lounges since then. And while everyone's sweating in those seats, I'm typing away emails while I'm eating chicken curry rice and drinking all the coffee my heart contends.
Correct. Yes. You've had a good bit of Centurion Lounge experience.
And I was taking shot after the marathon in Atlanta. I brought my 2 buddies with me. We're in the Centurion Lounge. We had our own private showers after camping out for a weekend. We were shaving and hanging out and eating good food and watching the Saints game. It was fantastic.
And one of the reasons why I think it, one of the initial reasons why I mentioned it to you is because you maybe, I believe, had a travel coming up. And so I was like, you really need it for the Centurion Lounge. And one of the exact reason why I got my platinum card from Amex was because I was in Thailand, ready to come back to America, but I have a 9-hour layover in Doha, Qatar. And I said, dude, I'm sick. I am sick of sitting in those seats. Even though they're nice seats, I'm sick of it. I want food. I want shower. I want to rest. I got the Amex Platinum, was able to get priority pass access to 1,300 lounges across the world. Thankfully, Qatar has an amazing, amazing lounge there. And same thing, was able to use the showers and the food and the unlimited amount of food and water and drinks and beautiful beverages. And so me and my siblings were able to use that lounge for 8 hours. It was beautiful.
You've opened my eyes. So if you're listening out there, go find yourself a 21, 22-year-old guy like Laith. All right. Laith, thanks for being here, brother. Thanks
you
for all the hard work you do, man. Love having you around here.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Bye-bye.